Hey, welcome everyone. We're talking with first place team from the Fall In Vets Hackathon, November 18th through the 20th, where the keynote was Andrew Bustamante, ex-CIA covert officer, Air Force combat veteran, and we've had directors, senior advisors from the Veterans Administration who leads homeless programs. So it was truly an evergreen hackathon. Um, and we're sitting with the first place team, Team Stragglers. So congratulations, Team Stragglers. We'll start with the team leader. Yeah, do you want to go ahead and talk about how you guys kind of formed together and what led you to the outcome here? Awesome to hear. Now that we got the sort of the gist of the project, I'm thinking we can dive into everyone's backgrounds. Starting with I see Jonathan Baldera on my top left screen. So, Jonathan, why don't you unmute yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background. What you did in the military, if you're comfortable, and what you're doing now, and yeah, what led you to the hackathon as well.
Yeah, so I was prior Army for 8 years, joined in 2014, got out earlier this year, actually, April 2022. I served as a 35 Tango military intelligence systems maintainer. So I was on the IT side of the house in the Army. About 2 or 3 years ago, I finished my bachelor's degree in IT and kind of got a little bit tired of the IT style of life and the work, but I still had a passion for technology, and I decided to become a software engineer. Started teaching myself. Actually participated in a Fallen hackathon a year ago. I think it's about a year ago now, and yeah, as I transitioned out, I started off as I'm a software engineer now at a startup here based in Austin, working on an MLOps platform. And yeah, this weekend just lined up for me to participate again, and I decided, hey, why not? It's another great opportunity to learn and to bring ideas that can help veterans. And being a veteran is something that I hold close to my heart. I love helping out veterans, and this is a great way that I think a lot of junior people with the veteran background can come in and start building something and actually get mentorship and feedback as they grow as an engineer or whatever facet of tech they want to be in.
Sweet. Guan, do you want to go next? Well, it uh, looks like you were unmuted there.
Oh, my bad. Hi, everyone. My name is
You're good.
Juan. Last name Chan. That's what they called me in the Air Force, Chan. I'm Jackie Chan's nephew. Or me. Yeah, I'm just joking. Yeah, I was in the Air Force. I did 6 years as an aircraft crew chief on the KC-135 and the KC-10. So they're pretty much like the big gasoline refuelers. I got the chance to deploy and do a bunch of TDYs all over the world. So visited a bunch of countries while I was in the service. Always liked working with my hands. So always kind of naturally was drawn to like building things and working on things. So now I develop software. I've been working on my own couple of sites. And I found the hackathon because I know Jamil. He's part of the vet community and works with everyone that does development in this space. And I was like, oh, I'm a vet, so I live in Los Angeles, and I saw that there's a bunch of vets and homelessness in the LA area, and I was like, okay, maybe I can contribute something to help the cause. And the idea came up to feed um, the people that need it. And we're like, okay, well, let's kind of build off that idea. And I think in the end result, we came up with something great. And then before I took a break from like working. 2020 was like a big change. So right now I'm also a software developer, but I also design and create products out of stone. So I make ceramic objects. I'm like a semi-professional potter or a ceramic artist. People pay me money to buy my artwork. So outside of me writing code during the week, I spend time after work and on the weekends teaching class and making pottery and ceramic objects. I also like martial arts and I like riding motorcycles. But yeah, it was great working with Jonathan, Ty, Ian, Mike. Jamil was there the whole time to, make sure that we're all like working together and, answer any questions if we had any. And I'm really proud of what we were able to accomplish and all the ideas that we were able to generate. Within this short time frame, I was a little stressed out. It's like, okay, well, hackathon, you don't really have that much time to really create something, but we ended up creating a really good idea, creating a pretty good like MVP sample product, and I did my best to contribute with my like skill set, and very proud of the team.
Thanks, Juan. Yeah, there should be another podcast totally separate from that. I'm sure that would be just as entertaining as a group one. Awesome. So, Charles, do you want to go next here?
Sure, yeah. Charles Griffin. I was straggling very much and was assigned to this group pretty late. And anyways, was really excited to participate. I've been kind of working on some tech stuff here and there in my free time. So spent a good bit of time in energy systems, probably about 2 years in gas pipelining, 2 years in biofuel processing, 2 years in solar. So and a little bit of construction services, building services, that type of thing, technical compliance. So the tech world is kind of a pivot for me. So I was living in New York during this period and just saw all the stuff going on in the technology world with the banks and the startups in Brooklyn and all kinds of stuff. So took a night class in Python and just started chipping away. So just started working on some personal projects and never participated in a hackathon, but I stumbled into one at Consensus this past year. So I figured, oh man, this is great, a veteran hackathon. So I really didn't contribute very much technically, but it's funny when I first connected with the group and heard the idea, I was just absolutely ecstatic. I was talking with Ian, we're like, oh my gosh, and because I kind of one of those personal projects has to do with food recycling, and it's just a tremendous industry. Tremendous resource that we just take for granted here in America. And the amount of food we have, and the amount of quantity that it's indicative of the quantity that we eat. Just eat and eat and eat, and oh gosh, I can't eat anymore. It's not necessarily like that around the world. So I'm really excited to be here, and guys, and I'm really excited about any kind of next steps here with this project. So
Sweet. Yeah, awesome to have you, Charles. Mike, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jamil. Yeah, so thank you to my whole team here. My background, Army 2010 to 2015, 25 series, air defense artillery attached to those guys. Prior to that, I had like a whole separate prior career in life in academia, worked in Germany and Indonesia, in California, and then decided to go into the military. And I think it was like the pivot, like the hinge for everything I had done prior, and then what came after. And I think what we got to do this weekend, I think, is really indicative of like what the best part of the experience of military service is that you work with people, from a bunch of different branches. You have a common goal and you work together, and, you don't know what you're doing. Other people have more experience, more skill, but everyone just drives towards the goal. And gets it done. And I think that's what it felt like for me over this weekend, is that it was like the best part of the experience I had in the service, sort of on a micro scale with the team. I work as a product manager now, total non-technical role. I build customer stories and search for new products for our customers. I'm trying to pivot into data science, data engineering. Fascinated by ML ops and the opportunities there for developing customer stories through machine learning models. And I think that's really, like Dane said earlier, that's really where not just product development, but code and everything else is just going so quickly. That's where I want to position myself. And, this weekend was just a great opportunity to get closer to that goal and meet a great bunch of people and do something, that benefited people in the homeless veteran community.
Awesome. I know Ian is there with you, not just in spirit, but he's there connected somehow, I think, through Slack. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can. Ian, you want to go next?
I can hear you, Ian. Is no one else getting his audio?
I'm not getting it. I don't think so.
No audio for me?
Oh, now I hear him.
Yeah, so I'm coming in by mobile device. This is the first time I've done a hackathon entirely on a mobile phone instead of with some sort of computer. My background is environmental science, and I've also worked with, I had an interesting history with veteran-owned businesses. One of the first organizations I volunteered kind of tracks along with a lot of my interests. Part of it was co-founded by an Australian veteran. And a big part of what they were doing was collecting stories and educating people around the world as they traveled the world about supply chains and other things with sustainability. And then I worked with a construction company that was also veteran owned out of Southwest Detroit. And we've, again, the aim there was how do you bring up the level for the community, but also recognizing some of the barriers that are unique for veterans, and also just the dynamics of that neighborhood, returning citizens in general, including those who are formerly incarcerated, and the overlaps. And then right now I've been focused on more so in the energy space, as far as like weatherization and renewables. But this is my fourth hackathon, and I've been really fortunate to have been with wonderful teams and placed top 3 in every one of them. So there's also something to be said about being able to carry institutional memory and lessons learned in terms of kind of being able to help not just myself prepare and liken it to like a 5K and knowing how to pace yourself, or maybe a marathon, right? But also how to shepherd others that are new to the process and level set quickly. So, I think that's been interesting, as far as one, being able to come into this one with a real sense of cadence in terms of how to approach this hackathon and how to help set expectations for the team. And then 2, when it comes to looking at how we pitch even, and what the expectations are, or how to really stay, keep fidelity with an MVP, but also recognize that there are opportunities to treat this as a hackathon, not the hackathon, where we can continue to build on ideas that potentially are modular, right? Like that maybe there's an architecture to it, or that there is an opportunity for continued growth as a team, or as a growing team through future competitions as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Ian. Ty, you were the team leader, and I would love to hear, your background and your thoughts on our keynote. Seems like there was some overlap in both of y'all's service here. Sounds dope, dude. If you want to, traverse through academia, you mentioned Princeton. One of our speakers was a Princeton alum, David Fisher, founder of League of Veterans. Feel free to connect with him. And then, John Dang was a Harvard guy. So he was one of our judges previously. So feel free to connect with these guys. Yeah. Awesome. Dane, do you want to go next? Talk about your background? Very cool. Awesome. Yeah. Curious about next steps about the project. Do you guys have any vision towards how you guys want to take it? Do you guys want to remain stagnant? Do you guys want to, add some action to it? What are you guys thinking here? And feel free to jump in, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I agree with Ty. As I have this extra time looking for,
so
like full-time
in a way,
space.
this app was an iteration of some thinking from the previous competition app with the librarian circle, and just this idea of how do you give some sort of validation or I guess being able to vouch for certain resources. And I think when it comes to looking at maybe next steps. One of the things that we discussed, I guess, most immediately with what you can see with this app, our Stragglers, I'm drawing a blank already, Samaritan app, is that we initially pulled from a data set that I think was from one of the Google Maps that found in a Mashable article for food kitchens or for food banks. But you can expand that to other food sources, facilities. One of the other things that we were really excited about is the potential to use AI and or at least machine learning to better inform in a couple directions. One is maybe the health implications that that are being read and found, and kind of aggregate data with the just as a cohort, right? People going to the same location or maybe in a region, right? Like that have certain dietary needs, for example, going to certain soup kitchens. And on the flip side, are those organizations adapting to the health needs that need to be serviced? But then also from a different angle, you could be looking at it in terms of, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. I guess as far as some of the emergent possibilities as well for, what can be done with other categories of interest. Michael, do you want to, Michael or Charles? I know both of you have taken away to that. And had some perspectives and ideas as well for
that. Thank you. And I wanted to bring it back to the workshops and the speakers and the keynote. Did any of those stick out to you guys? Any of the talks in particular? I think Jonathan had an opportunity to talk to Andrew at the last minute there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really cool to hear about Andrew and how, the military workforce and the civilian workforce are different, and there's some things that are good that the military is good at, civilians aren't, and there's some things that civilians may be good at that military people transitioning out the military aren't, right? But when you combine the two, you can really bring the best of both worlds. And I think that is one thing that I'm actually seeing in the workforce, right? I think I saw it when I was interning at Verizon, right? There's a certain discipline and persistence of most veterans transitioning, right? I think from what I've seen, a lot of veterans that come out the military are very eager to prove themselves. So they carry that motivation and that dedication to the work that they do outside of the military, right? Versus, I think in the civilian sector, you do have a lot of more modern skills, but some of those soft skills may be lacking because they just have more choice, right? They're not forced to work with people that they don't want to work with. Versus in the military, you have to always adapt to that. But they're up to date on a lot of the technical skills, right? The military may be a little bit behind on the capability, the technical capabilities, right? But the civilian sector is always pushed to innovate, especially in America where we capitalism, right? Innovation is key. So people are always growing technically, but it is really cool to see the interactions between those two and how Andrew was able to highlight that.
Awesome. Go on. I think I skipped over you. Do you want to put your thoughts in here as well?
Yeah, so you mentioned, some of the keynote speakers, they definitely gave us like a little insight on, what we should have, what type of goals we should, shoot for. It gave us like a general overview of like what kind of issues that we should maybe focus on. And I think like having that, presentation was helpful for us to kind of get an idea of like what type of app we should go with. And, in regards to like, working on the app some more, I'm actually excited to see how many more features I can implement, on this app, because I have the access to the repo and it's pretty easy to make and, make changes to it. At least I think so. You can make sure that the tests don't fail on your local server, and make sure you're pushing some clean code up to the repo, and you can actually see it live. And it's already hosted on a server, so you can share it with whoever that wants to use this product or service. So I'm excited to keep working on it, because I'm actually going to start an internship very soon. But, while I'm in the internship, I'll be looking for like a more full-time software job. So that'll keep me busy. It'll at least keep me busy for a while, because this is one of the projects that I'm actually really proud of, to contribute to, because, feeding people that need it, and like being able to actually deploy something and then one day seeing it in full use would be really cool. Actually, you built something from scratch, and then like next thing you know, this application gets a lot of traction, or people are actually using it, and like new participants want to sign up and be a contributor to help feed people that are actually hungry. It's a good cause in my eyes, and if I can contribute to that cause, by writing some code and making software easy to use for, people that aren't familiar with, or that has access to phones, or, not even that is aware to how to use a phone. I had one example. I was in LA, and he's like, he asked me for some money. He needed like $8 or $10 for an inner tube on his fixed gear bicycle. He literally just got out of a tough situation, out of county. And I was like, yo, dude, you have Venmo? I can Venmo you some money. And he's like, it's like foreign to him, like that word. So like he had a phone, but he didn't even know what that app was. I was like, sorry, man, I wish I had some cash. I would just give it to you so you get your tire fixed. But, and, I couldn't even give him the money so he can get his tire fixed, because, I didn't have, some cash. But like I was willing to Venmo him, but he didn't even have an account set up. So, and then he just kind of wrote off, and, see if he can find someone else to give him that $8 to get his tire fixed or whatever. But yeah, I definitely want to contribute more to this project. It'd be cool to work on it, get maybe some real fleshed out, next steps on like important features, and slowly build upon that. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now.
Awesome. I wanted to bring it back to Charles and ask, since this was, your first time checking out a hackathon, what was your thoughts on the virtual platform that we used? Would love to hear your feedback on that.
Yeah, it was super cool. I've never participated in a virtual platform like that before, so being able to navigate the facility and interact with people was pretty neat. I admit, at first I was a little hesitant. I thought that I didn't know what to think, but everything seemed to work out all right, and yeah.
Nice. Is anyone super into VR by chance? Like, does anyone get giddy over it, or is it just me? That's right. Totally. All right. Anyone have any closing thoughts here as we finish up our podcast?
I guess the one thing I will say is like, hey, if you're a veteran or military spouse, child of a veteran, or just feel tied to people that have served, get out there, right? Network, participate in events like this, because this is really going to help you grow technically. You're going to meet amazing people that you never know how they will impact your career. So yeah, just put yourself out there.
Yeah, I
Sweet.
agree
Mike,
with
you want to
that.
go next? Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I just want to just echo what John said. That civilian or veteran spouse, it gives you an opportunity to, contribute to the community, to be with, former service members, your battle buddies, and work on cool stuff, learn something new, and push your own boundaries. And yeah, just thanks to Andrew, Dane, the different organizations that were involved in this hackathon. It was a great time, and I think I will definitely be there for the next one.
Sweet. Does Ian have any closing thoughts here?
Yeah, I guess as far as this was, I mean, every hackathon, it's really about the team, and I think one of the things that's special about this team is just how folks, there's an awareness and kind of a willingness, definitely a willingness, right? Like everybody wanted to see where they can contribute something, and if they were shy, they were still willing to still sit in, and it wound up being that a lot of the folks who didn't expect they would contribute something, they still had brilliant things to help kind of move the either just exactly the stuff that we're looking for to go forward, but or even just kind of expand the way that we look at what we're really working with and the opportunities with the relationships that we've been building. I sort of kind of got tired out from earlier, but the fact that also I think what's interesting about the Fall In hackathons is that like I said, there's a previous team that one of them, our teammates, Janine, she had carried over into this team as well, and this opportunity for us to continue building not just an app or a product or something, but really strengthening relationships and kind of as a community. I think that's something that, at least for me, I think that's really powerful, and I feel like, at least in this hackathon, there's a theme that a lot of folks have kind of reinforced as well, as far as just the sense of community that's important for supporting veterans, especially with folks and everything. So I'm just really grateful to see continue to see the heart and service that goes in from everybody, and the effort, obviously, that shows up often in unspoken and unseen ways by people who, for example, some of our teammates weren't able to be here for this podcast, but for sure, they're certainly appreciated, and we want to acknowledge them too.
Awesome. Anyone want to go next? Dan, you want to go, or? Yeah, go ahead, Ty. Yeah, thanks for dropping that gem of wisdom there. Charles, do you want to add any closing thoughts here?
Nothing in particular. Just really want to echo what everybody said. I mean, this is a great event. I had tons of fun. Really feel like we had a great group of people. I mean, you could really feel the group cohesion come together towards the end. And I mean, of course, the guys. I mean, some tremendous talent here. Um, so I mean, just seeing what you can do in 2 days, and really for us, really just one day, a day and a half. So. I mean, it's just really incredible. It's really motivating, and gosh, I'd really just encourage anyone that's hasn't necessarily participated in a hackathon, just maybe try to sign up for one and see if you can help out in some capacity, or if it's a live event somewhere, just go and attend and just kind of just get your feet wet. I mean, that's kind of where I am at least, and that's been a big help to me. So yeah, just super excited to be here, and would really encourage other people to to see if if they want to catch the coding bug. So thanks.
Awesome. Anyone else with any last minute closing thoughts here?
I'd like to say some.
Yeah, go for it, please.
As an individual, I believe, yeah, great work, everyone. I think we all did a fantastic job. There's a lot of communication back and forth. And I just want to say, the best thing we can do is if we receive criticism, just make sure that the criticism is normally trying to improve you. So, we're all just trying to be the best version of ourselves. So, take the information that's given to you and, respectfully try to digest it and see if what they're saying is applicable. And for the most part, they wouldn't say it if it wasn't applicable to that individual, so they're just trying to help. So just kind of following up what Dane and Ty was mentioning before. But yeah, it was great being part of this hackathon. I signed up like earlier this month. I saw that it was happening. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it or not. And then I just showed up on Friday, and I was like, okay, I'm part of this team, and let's get it rocking and rolling. We kind of like just had a bunch of ideas in the beginning, and we narrowed it down, found a focus, and then when when it was time to execute, we all did our best to contribute and execute it as well as we can. And it was definitely a big team effort. So I was really proud of what we were able to put together. And it was a lot of fun. And it was great meeting everyone. Everyone came from a different background. We had a lot of conversations regarding code, regarding life, regarding work, just general conversations. It was just great, just meeting people that have a similar mindset, and just being able to discuss your thoughts about just random ideas. And I don't really get to interact with a lot of people in the service anymore after being out of the service for past 6-7 years now. So this is a great opportunity to speak and digest information from a different source as well. So it was a great time, and I look forward to the next event.
Awesome. Well said, Juan. Yeah, I try to, have these hackathons where, in the midst of the chaos, it's still, a little bit relaxed, and, where you can kind of drop your guard and be vulnerable and ask questions and things like that and learn. But yeah, feel free to continue to, post online about your experience, and feel free to DM me any critical feedback. We're always looking to iterate and improve. So don't be shy of that. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to do with the prize money. Get together as a group. Yeah, let me know what you guys want to do with it. Who to send it to? If you want me to disperse it, or send it to an org, or have you guys keep it. Let me know. Yeah. Other than that, wish you guys all the best with your coding journey and tech journey. And hopefully you guys continue to chime in on our fall in Slack We have a knowledge channel, post, different things that you're learning, share that with the community. That's how I kind of learned. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll see you online.